Hey everyone, it's Simon Hurley from Inklips, and today I'm doing a Brutus Monroe project using one of their deer stamp sets, and also some black pens and Copic markers to create a really fun and easy cartoony Christmas card. So let's just start off by saying how much I love the style of these deer. I love their cartoony expressions and everything, and it really drew me to the stamp set, so I was super excited to use it in today's video. Now I started off by making 3 different cards, and I'm going to stamp the reindeer in the center of each card, because I thought I was going to make them individually, but my mind changed halfway through the video, and I decided to push them all into one card. And also I'm using some Copic friendly ink here, because we're going to be coloring a lot using Copic markers. While I color in these deer, I'm going to speed it up though and turn on some music so you guys can watch as I color, because nobody wants to hear me talk throughout that whole time, and I'll be right back to finish off some of the cards. Alright, so after I was finished coloring everything in, I decided to add to the cartoony effect. I was going to add a little bit of a border of Copic markers around every image, and I wanted to do a fade from darkest to lightest colors. So you'll see how this kind of works out here. I was kind of reenacting kind of what you would see maybe in comic books, where it's like goes from dark to light, and there might be like a superhero in front, like pow. That's kind of what I was going for with these reindeer, and so I did it in 3 different color tones for each one, and I picked blues, oranges, and reds to match each color scheme that I did for each reindeer. So then I'm kind of turning each marker on its side, and now these markers are brush tips, the one that I have, so these make it really easy to do this with. Now the borders aren't going to be even anyway, and they don't really need to be because of the cartoony effect on this. It kind of can be as uneven as you want to make it, and it just looks a little bit quirky. It's really fun to do, and also if you want to make the last edge not as hard looking, you can definitely use a Copic blender at the end, but I wanted to keep it like this so that I can keep it, and later on you'll see me cut it out. So I repeated that process with the reddish pinkish kind of background here, and I'm just adding the 3 different colors, and once again you can soften out the edge if you like it, and then with this one I'm doing an orange to a yellow, and it's super bright and I love how it turned out. So then just to add even more of a fun effect to these reindeer, I decided that I needed to add some googly eyes onto this. I've never done this with stamps, but it just added on to the complete quirkiness of these images, and it works super well with the cartoony style that I love. So it just added such a great effect to these cards, and I really love how it all turned out. Then I'm using those same pens that I showed you right at the beginning. You can use some Copic multiliners, or here are some Micron pens, and I'm using it in a 0.5, which is kind of a really small tip, so you can get that really fine detail in there. And you can really go to town with this. You can do whatever doodling you want. On this first one, I just did some lines, which add just some to effect of that they're hand drawn, and it's really fun to create. So for the second one, I decided to add some little loop-de-loops with the pen like you would see on a little roller coaster. Now these do not have to be perfect at all, and in fact I was kind of trying to make them look imperfect because obviously the stamps are drawing imperfectly like little cartoons, so I wanted to make this kind of replicate exactly that, and I think it looks so awesome hand in hand paired together. Then with this last little blue one, I drew little X's like stitching marks on every single edge of this wolf. Sure, it did take a long time, but I love how it turned out, and I think it's just such cool details and effects you can add to the edges of stamps, especially when they're drawn just like this, because it just adds to the amazingness of the card. So this one's a little bit harder to see because the color is a little bit darker, but in person you can definitely see it. Unfortunately, it's a little bit harder to pick up here on camera. So then I cut them all out because I decided that these needed to be cut out and put on all the same card because I thought they matched up so well. I sent a sentiment that said, "Oh dear," and added some brown distress ink on the edge of it. And then I'm cutting out one of this middle reindeer's mouth so I can stick the sentiment inside and make it look like he's holding the sentiment while getting flown up in the air. So I'm just sticking the sentiment down right in there, and I added some adhesive on the back so it would stay. Then I'm taking this awesome shimmery silver spray that's from Brutus Monroe, and once it dries, it truly gives such an amazing effect on the paper. And I'm going to be adding the reindeer right in front of that to make it look like maybe it's like some snow coming up from the background. And I'm adding the 2 on the outside on foam tape, and the one in the middle on 2 layers of foam tape so it pops up even more. I'm truly happy with how this amazing card design turned out, and I love the cartoony look of these stamps. I love that we got to hand draw, and also we got to add some googly eyes to some stamps. So basically all my dreams have come true. Thank you guys so much for watching this video, and I'll see you very soon.
God, I wish I never spoke. Now I gotta wash my mouth out with soap.